it's a little dead meme. Fuck you, little bitch. You think you can fuck with me? What a ring. Fuck you, little bitch. Hey, look, I'm hoping some bread. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Snark Tank Podcast. We're back. It's me, Chris Raygun, and I'm here with Tom Sweeny and some black guy again.
Hey. Hey.
My God, we're you might notice some audio discrepancies on this episode compared to previous ones, and that is because we are doing this remotely. We're not really all that used to this.
Not at all.
This is very weird. I don't think I've ever talked. I don't even outside of like phone calls in like college. Like I don't think I've ever talked to Sweeny through a call like this.
Literally like years. Yeah. Over 5 at least.
Yeah, because I mean we've lived together for a long time at this point.
Yeah.
You guys ever thought about experimenting with each other?
No.
Some pretty gay shit there, my friend.
Okay, chill out. Okay, we're here with another episode of the Snark Tank Podcast.
I'm sorry, it's the fucking quarantine, man. It's getting to me.
You're disgusting. So this is a weekly conversational podcast. We did not have the podcast last week because things got a little hairy. We had some information that led us to believe that we had a possible COVID case in our building, and we didn't want to risk it by having and it was like the same day that we were going to record it. So
literally, we got the email right before.
Yeah, so we didn't want to. We didn't want to have Derek come over, and it was a bit late to do like an impromptu kind of digital Discord kind of thing right off the bat. So we're back this week. We're gonna try and just do it this way for a while until things kind of settle down.
It's not. It's just fixing itself.
Yeah, it's not ideal. This really does suck like a lot, but I don't know. Shit's going crazy. Like New York is going fucking wild right now.
New York is broken.
Isn't it like has the worst cases or something?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I mean, New York is so compact that I don't even think you really even need to. You could probably be isolated in your apartment and still get it. Honestly.
Yeah.
So
it's terrible. Everyone there stay safe.
Yeah, so we just want to be careful. So if the audio is a little weird, we're going to be continuously working on improving that in the coming weeks. This is still kind of new to us, so bear with us.
Yeah, upgrade.
But I just want to say thanks to everybody who's still paying for the Patreon and subscribing to our channel and stuff. It's really cool. We know that things are pretty tight right now, so I've gotten a couple messages that are like, "Oh, I'm so sorry that I have to stop stop the donations." Like, it's not a big deal. Just take care of yourself. We can keep trucking on. It's totally fine. Yeah, so just to get us going, we got a question from David. He says, at what point do you become so famous that if you are killed, it is reported as an assassination and not a murder?
I don't know. I don't even. Oh man, those are so objectively different things. Yeah, those are assassination is one thing, and a murder is another thing.
Well,
like assassinate means you don't know. Like someone just walks up on you and kills you randomly. Like it's something like a spectacle would be assassinated, opposed to like being murdered. It's like some guy robbed your house and then murdered you. Well, assassin is like some guy from a few blocks away sniped you and your head jumped off your neck. You know.
Well, I think that's how we typically say, right? Like, yeah, that's what an assassination is. But I think you can, walk up and shank somebody in a crowd full of people, and you did your job. I think you can do that.
So you can Assassin's Creed.
Basically, you can Assassin's Creed. I think that's the whole point of right. I don't know the literal definition of assassinate. Actually, come to think of it,
if I were, look it up. I'm pretty sure an assassination requires some level of political power. Like you can't assassinate Robin Williams, but you can assassinate like a president or like a political figure. I don't know if
that's
it really
what
counts.
I was getting to. I agree. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think it counts if it's just like, oh, this comedian was assassinated. Like that'd be a weird way to. That would be a weird sentence to hear.
You couldn't like a helicopter didn't assassinate. I'm gonna stop there.
Okay, murder an important person in a surprise attack for political or religious reasons. So yeah, pretty much you got to be political or religious to be assassinated.
Right. Yeah, that's what I assumed, because I was thinking, how come only presidents are assassinated and stuff, and other people like say Nipsey Hussle, for example.
Yeah,
yeah, there wasn't considered an assassination, but he was killed by somebody, and he had he was motivated by whatever the fuck reason.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. That Nick Walker wrote in, "Hey Huey, Dewey in Spanish." Okay, fuck you, sir.
Which one are you, Derek?
It doesn't matter. That's kind of the point of those ducks.
Yeah, I guess, right? That's pretty. That's pretty fucked up.
Huey has on green, right, and Dewey has on blue.
I don't know, man. What even characters are these? Are these Donald Duck's nephews?
Yeah.
From DuckTales?
From DuckTales.
Yeah.
You know how long it's been since I've even considered watching DuckTales?
The DuckTales song. I'm actually really good at singing that song, the DuckTales theme song. In fact.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it though. I don't want to hear it.
Anyway, he says, a coworker recently broke their arm and said it was the worst pain of their lives, and it made me wonder what yours was. Stay safe and don't cough on nobody.
Oh, easy. You guys already know mine.
Oh, is it when you broke all of your ribs?
I didn't break all my ribs. I broke like 6 of them.
That's basically all. Like after
it's a lot of them.
You said your grandma was whooping your ass after that too, right?
She was gonna whoop me. Like I was getting in an ambulance. She was coming. She was gonna hit me. Like I saw it in her face. And they were like, "Hey, chill out. Like chill. Like he might die right now if you hit him."
That's so brutal. That while you're at your lowest, when you're in agonizing pain, and somebody wants to add more to it, that's impressive.
But I learned that lesson already. Like she didn't need to. It's her part. Usually when kids do something stupid, you gotta be like, "All right, you gotta discipline him." She was just like, "I'm gonna discipline him right now when he's dying, probably."
That's pretty fucked up, dude.
Good times,
I don't know, man. I think honestly, I don't know if anything necessarily physically, like from like blunt force or like a cut or anything, but I have 2 instances that I remember very, very distinctly that will never leave me, and it's waking up with alcohol poisoning was probably the most like metaphysical pain I've ever been in my life, where I just felt like my body was attacking me and I couldn't run away because it's me. So like I was just stuck in a state of just like, it was almost as if someone was using telekinesis on my brain in my body. I was asleep. I woke up at like 7 a.m. and I was in bed till 8 p.m. And I walked out of my room at 8 p.m. into the living room where everybody was. And I was like, hey guys, I'm awake.
Oh, that sounds like a good time to me.
It was man. It was not rest. I was not resting. I was just agonizing in a very rigid pose so as not to disrupt my organs. It was so bad.
Alcohol poisoning is everyone should have it at least once.
No,
just so you know. Just so you know.
You're such a fucking psychopath.
I'm not a psychopath. I just want everybody to understand the world thoroughly.
Oh my
God. How are you going to truly understand?
There's certain things that you don't need to know.
That's not. I disagree.
You
disagree. Knowledge.
You disagree.
The venture for knowledge is everlasting.
I don't think that's viable knowledge to most people.
Absolutely, it's viable because then you can understand people better if you understand their pain.
You're talking about striving for knowledge, and you can't even remember your own YouTube login. To the point.
Oh my God.
To the point where you made a channel with thousands of subscribers. I think over 10,000. I think
it wasn't over 10. It was definitely over 5 though.
You had a decent amount, dude. You had a significant number of subscribers, and you
can check. I think I remember the name of it. Wasn't it American Sweeny Machine?
Oh my God, here we go.
Yeah,
I wonder if I can contact YouTube about that and be like, hey, can I get my account back?
No,
it's definitely me.
You definitely can't because they don't respond to me, so you definitely can. But you should just. He lost the login information to his channel and had to start a new one.
Okay,
Sweeney's right though. It was just under 6,000.
Just under 6,000. That's
okay. So now that you guys brought up, you're shitting on
Still
me.
A lot, though.
Shameless plug time. Follow me on YouTube now. I got a whole YouTube channel. We're gonna probably put in a link or something in here. Tune in to the Sweeney's Adventures.
What's the name of your channel?
I think it's the Sweeney the Magic Bean.
You don't even know. He doesn't even know. All right, listen. I can't with this. What were we even talking about? I don't even remember.
The pain thingy.
It's somewhere between alcohol poisoning and waking up during surgery for like a split second.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah, that was something that happened. I woke up
and you didn't have anesthesia?
I did, but like anesthesia doesn't really work that well on me. I have like a weird tolerance that I didn't really realize because I don't know, how do you compare your experience with anesthetic to anybody else's? You get injected when you go to the dentist and they do shit and you're like, oh, I still feel a lot of pain, but I assume this is how everybody feels because
I see.
you know what I mean. So like
That's
I went
insane.
under for like this biopsy in like 2004 2005, and they put me under, and I was asleep, and then I woke up and felt really cold in places that I've never felt cold, and I passed out again from the shock of being.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. That is not
For me,
Probably
a.
I
doing
just
some
don't.
weird shit to you,
I
bro.
understand. For
Yo,
me, I
that
just
is.
don't feel pain the right way. So like I get hurt and like I'm fine for the most part, but like probably somewhere in my body's like damaged.
What do you
Because
mean?
then when I broke my ribs, like I was still up and like trying to walk around. Like I got up after I broke a bunch of my ribs, and I was like, I'm in a lot of pain. It hurts.
That's
But like I'm
adrenaline.
still very functional. No, but it happens to me all the time. Like every time I ever hurt myself really bad, like a cut, a bruise, concussion, like anything, I'm still very capable of going around. But I'm like, there's definitely something wrong.
Have you ever had a concussion?
I played football. Of course, I had a concussion.
Oh, all right. Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it does.
Derek.
I've been hurt a lot. You guys know I've told the story about me jumping out of the truck and stuff. But I think I gotta go with, and this one surprised me because I didn't break my foot because I got it X-rayed. I was running around my house in circles like I was a running back, just pretending to do like certain moves and jukes and stuff like that because I was so into football. Like when I was around 15, 16 or whatever, and I hit the corner of one of the walls with my foot. I thought I broke it because it was the worst pain ever. I was like, oh, can't walk on it, whatever. I just bruised it insanely badly, and I was like, how does breaking your foot feel if that felt so agonizing? I had to be on crutches for a week because I couldn't walk on it. And I was like, are you sure? Like to the doctor, like I'm fucking questioning him with the x-rays. I'm like, are you sure it didn't fucking break it? It hurts like I've never felt any type of pain like this before. And I was like, this doesn't feel like a fucking bruise. And he's like, well, this is what it feels like when you bruise your bone, you bitch. And then he just sent me on my way.
That's
Bruise your
crazy.
bone, that's insane.
I can't even like conceptualize a bruised bone.
Yeah,
It was insane. I couldn't believe how much I was like, how does this not feel like breaking something? Because I guess I've never only the small little bones in my wrist. Those are the only things that I've broken, and that hurt a lot, but not that bad. So the bruised foot,
breaking bones hurts, man. It's comedic.
Yeah.
Bodies are fucking crazy to me. Like I don't even know. Like how does that shit heal and come back together? That's just so weird to me.
That shit really
it's
I've
hardware.
never broken a bone, and I'm convinced. I don't know if I've said this on the podcast before. I'm sure I've said it before, but like I genuinely feel like I would be far more traumatized by seeing a part of me that has been solid for my entire life suddenly not solid anymore, or like seeing my wrist or like my forearm with like a 90-degree angle in it would probably be more traumatizing than just the pain of breaking a bone.
Yeah, because it's visual at that moment. Like you've never seen your body bend that way. You're gonna be like, oh my god, something's definitely really, really wrong with me right now.
I think I would be fine. I think I would be fine seeing that. I think the only problem I would have is if I saw like a bone sticking out of my body. When I see that happening and people's skin like torn and the bone sticking out, that shit freaks me out. But seeing like a limb flopping and shit, it's almost funny to me. I'm like, oh, that's silly.
Nah, man, it bothers
It's
the hell out of me.
wacky.
It reminds me of that.
You're like
scene.
fucking Gumby now.
It reminds me of that scene in Harry Potter where he like what is it? They try to heal his broken bone and they get rid of all the bones in his arm, and then he has to sit in the hospital and grow his bones back.
I think it was the second one.
Yeah, Chamber of Secrets.
Bro, sex, something like that.
What?
That was good. That was a good one.
I don't think we watched the same movie. If you see a Harry Potter movie on Pornhub, it's probably not the right Harry Potter movie.
It probably could be the right one actually. Like
it could be. Yeah, I watched Dragon Ball Super on a porn website. So
yeah, that's right.
So
You ever think some senile fucking person trying to watch something legitimately and they ended up on Pornhub and they're watching the parody and they're like, oh, I don't remember it being this good.
Wow, The Nun's a really good movie.
What do we got here? Huh? Jacob Oeder?
Oh.
I don't want to say odor
You
because that
suck,
sounds like
dude.
sounds rude to assume that that's how you say
Odor.
that. How would you feel about How would you feel about dating a conjoined twin? Either one individual or the pair of them. What would it take for them? What would it take for her/them to steal your hearts?
Oh man,
I had
I've
never
thought about that shit, bro.
really.
you thought about this?
I have straight up never once considered this as even like a remote possibility because honestly, for a long time, I just thought that wasn't a real thing. I thought
Okay.
There was like a famous one.
there was
Yeah,
a
there
famous
literally
one,
was.
but you know how there's like famous like bullshit like it's
Yeah.
like Loch Ness or whatever, and I'm like I don't know.
Okay, that's
Like,
not
what, wait, you're
modern.
comparing
Wait,
conjoined
time out.
twins
To
to Loch
monsters,
Ness?
to fucking fake sea creatures. What is up? Wait a minute.
What do you mean?
Loch Ness monster is probably a fake sea monster opposed to Siamese twins, which are real creatures.
No, you're
Those
misunderstanding.
are not the same level
Like,
of
you
like
still call them
mythological.
creatures, though.
No, you're misunderstanding. It's not about whether or not they exist or not. It's about the fact that I see them and I refuse to believe it.
Oh, okay, got you.
Like
Okay, I see.
it's just such a shock. Like I can't conceptualize like a cat dog person. Like I just
So you're choosing to be ignorant about it,
yeah.
even though you've been
No.
exposed to the information.
Like
Okay,
at
I
what
got you.
point? Here's my question. Here's my question immediately. You are joined. You have the same body as someone. Do you feel?
What they feel?
Yeah.
We have different brains.
That's why you gotta watch the interviews and shit of like that famous one. I was so curious because I never thought about that until I saw them. They're like their body was kind of like one body, just a little stretched, and then they had the two heads. And there were so many like, bruh, like who feels what? And then it's more of like I feel this part of the body and this, and then of course, I'm sure they talked about sex, but I don't think I ever watched that one because that's what I wanted to hear. And then I don't think because I wanted to know about that shit. I'm like, how do you guys bang? How do you guys date? How does this work?
I would not touch one of them. I'm sorry. I hate to be like that person. I hate to be the guy that sounds like a monster, but like that's just too much. I'm barely ready for regular relationships. So like I can't give myself to two people when I can barely even manage the one I'm in right now. Like I can't do it. I'm sorry. Nothing against them. They're probably wonderful people, but like I just can't.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I can handle it. It's just too. I don't like having to explain things, and I know that if I walked into a party with a two-headed girlfriend, I couldn't just like
walk in and go start mingling.
That's not like a wheelchair, where you could walk in with like a wheelchair and no one's gonna ask or no one's gonna be that curious about it. It's like whatever, wheelchair.
A wheelchair? Are you talking about having a wheelchair?
What do you think?
I don't know. You didn't specify. What the fuck, man?
Who needs to specify in that scenario?
Walk in with a wheelchair and then a human in it, like.
Dude, oh my god, your concussion is really showing today.
The fucking CTE bitch.
No, I just think like you can walk in with like a girlfriend who's in a wheelchair or like a girlfriend in like crutches or a girlfriend with like all sorts of different shit, like a blind girlfriend or like all sorts of things, and you probably wouldn't have to explain a lot. But like with when your girlfriend has two separate heads, you can't just sort of strut in there and pretend like nothing is abnormal. Like that's not something you could just walk
Imagine
off.
the uncomfortability of trying to have sex with one of them when the other one's in the room just trying to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And you're plowing the one on the right while the one on the left is just trying to get some rest.
So wait, are we talking about two people? Like we're talking about two like bodies that are like joined at like the side, right?
Yeah, we're not talking about like a fucking double-headed creature like the Demogorgon from D&D.
Okay.
I couldn't do it. That's
gotta be so. I mean, because here's the thing: if you're just stable to another person, they immediately correct that with easy surgery.
That's true.
So I don't think that scenario would really exist. It would have to be way more conjoined to where they're sharing organs and stuff.
Ooh.
That's so fucking maddening, dude. That's insane.
Oh my god, that scares me.
What if you're sharing organs but you have two asses? How does that work? Like, what do you do?
Double dip.
I'm actually shaking right now. I'm
uncomfortable, actually.
I'm so deep. I'm sorry if there are any two-headed people listening to this podcast.
Can you imagine?
Like our biggest fan, like we had a fan listening to our podcast right now who's like the richest person. She was like, I'm gonna donate $1 million to the Snark Tank, and then like this episode airs.
I'm really sorry if there is conjoined.
I know that this is like a fucked scenario because they
so
can't help
that I'm feeling bad. Like my brain's like, you should probably stop saying these things. It's not good.
Look. I'll rescue this because I even though it would be difficult, I say I am open to, well, as long as they're, a woman, I'm like open to like whatever, you know what I mean? Like as far as somebody's in a fucking wheelchair, someone's got 2 heads or fucking 6
Derek, you
breasts or
you
whatever.
you impress me, dude. Like
Because
you.
I really do value a fucking connection, right? The connection first, and then we'll see what we're working with afterwards.
I
You
value
feel
a
me?
connection too, but I don't want 2 connections that's on one body.
That's
Dude,
not
I was
exactly
trying to
what I'm
save
looking
this.
for.
I was trying to save this so we can keep the fucking fan.
Yeah, that one fan or the 2
the
fans.
fan.
I guess.
The 2 fans.
Oh my god. Next question. Oh my lord.
Oh my god. Okay. Jay Cunningham asks, "Hey, you pieces of talent. This is the last time I'm going to be able to ask a question for a while, thanks to the current state of the world. No worries, Jay. Thanks for supporting us for however long you were. So I hope it makes it onto the show. Anyway, simple question: favorite movies. It's a pretty generic, normal question, but since he's not going to be able to ask a question for a while, I figured why not toss it in here.
Favorite movies or movie?
Movies, plural.
Okay.
You go, Derek.
All right. Mine are pretty generic. Shawshank Redemption, Gladiator. I think it's one of my favorite trifectas of like. I love Ridley Scott. I love Hans Zimmer. I love Russell Crowe. I love anything that's ancient, like Roman shit, or anything that's like Latin stuff. The only thing I don't like is
was Joaquin Phoenix in that? He was, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic movie. I love it. I love the costumes. I actually there's this guy Tigress of Gaul. He has that tiger helmet, and then it has the teardrop on it.
Oh yeah, I know that helmet. Yeah.
That fucking helmet is so. I wanted to buy the real one, but it's I'm fucking not rich, and so I'm hoping that somebody can 3D print that shit for me because it seems pretty possible now. But yeah, that and then The Matrix because I'm huge into sci-fi, and then fucking martial arts, and that shit blew my fucking mind.
Gladiator is fucking awesome. Like that's
movie.
that's one of the first movies. I think I'm pretty sure this is true. It's one of the first movies where like they had somebody, an actor die, in the middle of filming it. And they actually like recreated the actor with CG, like pretty convincingly, like even back then, which is pretty fucking wild.
That's insane.
Yeah, it like
I'm actually not aware of this. What?
I swear I didn't notice it until like I think I was just watching I think I just had Watch Mojo like playing in like on autoplay because that's how they make all their money probably.
I need to because I have like every version of this movie. I need a fucking like how do I not know about this?
It's not well. I guess like back then it wasn't that public because it was like the internet wasn't really that fucking.
Yeah, because that was like fucking 2000 or something, 2001 or 2002, something. I forget what it was.
It is now.
Yeah, so I think most people just assumed that they filmed it before he died or whatever. But like, yeah, there's like some digital shit that they did where they took like one shot and just sort of recreate. They just sort of changed the lighting and just took the face and like put it on. So there's something crazy that they did in that movie that's like actually like really, really ahead of its time. CG.
You're blowing my mind. I'm gonna look into this after we're done.
Yeah, you should.
Like, what the fuck?
You should. It's pretty wild. It blew my mind when I saw it too. Or at least I hope I saw it and I'm not just making this shit up.
And that's why I'm like, oh, maybe it's I'm still looking at it.
I'm pretty confident that it's a real thing. But yeah, I think I'm a Tarantino person, like, which is also kind of a generic choice. But like, I think Inglourious Bastards is like such a fucking incredible movie to me, and I think I honestly that's the one. It's that Spider-Man 2.
Of course.
And Shrek 2, of course.
Okay.
Is Shrek 2 real though?
No.
It's not a great movie.
Shrek 2, but I will say Shrek 2, as far as like, I'm not even kidding really when I say this. As far as like a sequel to a movie and a franchise, I think Shrek 2 is probably one of the best sequels probably ever.
It's up there.
Because Shrek 1 is so like, Shrek 1's funny, I guess. It's not aged the best animation wise, but neither is Toy Story really. So like, you watch Shrek and it's like, that's kind of like entertaining. But then Shrek 2 is actually like genuinely kind of a good movie. Weirdly wholesome, and it's got like the right amount, it's got the right level of, it's got the right mix of crude and wholesome that like allows it to kind of like walk this line of just being kind of like an entertaining romp. And also it's got like one of my favorite uses of I Need a Hero ever.
Yeah.
It's just so good. No, that wouldn't be on my favorite movies list.
It's pretty mad.
I would say a movie that you've seen upwards of like 10 times.
Yeah, that's definitely Inglourious Bastards and Spider-Man 2.
I love Django also.
It was pretty good. Yeah.
That movie is ridiculous. I'm gonna say Into the Spider-Verse is definitely one of my favorites as well. It's gonna sound I'm sounding like a fucking like whiny teenage girl, but I love Donnie Darko. I love that movie.
That's a very goth girl thing to say.
Yeah, I was a goth. I was a goth girl in a 6-foot black man's body, like most of high school.
Okay.
That's so scary. That's such a scary visualization.
Terrible, terrifying visage. And then what's another movie I adore? Empire Strikes Back.
Really?
Fucking love that movie. So 5. I think that's the best sequel in any movie ever.
Maybe.
You might be right. You might be right. I mean, especially what it did to pop culture. What it did, it changed shit for like forever.
I don't know if it holds a candle to Shrek too. Star Wars doesn't have Antonio Banderas.
Wow, that's really true.
It's true. I mean, Pussy in Boots is fucking the best. This is the best character ever created.
My favorite character is Pussy and Tim's.
That's so gross. Someone please draw that. Holy shit.
Yeah, someone
draw Puss in Boots with Tim's on and a Yankee hat and holding a gun. I'd pay for it.
This just sounds like all my cousins. Moto Zealot wrote in, what is the most dark and screwed up inner thought that you have had? One you'd never act on, but is scared. What? One, oh, this is written a little weird. One you'd never act on, but is scared you that you could even think such a thing. Okay, I get it.
Oh man,
I don't know if I want
to. I'm gonna go last because mine is definitely really bad.
Okay, so I'm going to pick the most okay thing that I could say on on a public forum like this. I have definitely been walking behind people and like children on escalators or like staircases and thought like, I really could I could kick this kid like way down this flight of stairs like pretty easily, like with very little effort, very little holding me back. Gravity is really my steed right now. Like it'll do most of the work. I don't have to do a damn thing. I would, and like, what are they gonna do? They're gonna believe that someone just kicked a kid down a flight of stairs randomly for no reason? Who would do such a thing? Like, no one would do that.
Babies are dumb. It fell.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. I've definitely thought that. I would never kick a baby down a flight of stairs. But I don't know. The brain is really fucking terrible. Like I'm firmly positive that the only difference between like a raging psychopath and like a normal human being is just the ability to deny the brain of its thoughts and just to be like, hey, listen, we're not gonna do that.
If you give it one time, then that's it. You gotta fight it. It's a constant bout, but you gotta fight it. One day.
Look, the brain wants peace. The brain wants peace, and that's why so many mothers that they're in therapy and they're crying that I can't believe I have visions or thoughts of throwing my baby out the window or fucking just bashing their brains out. And then they're like, it's fine. Like you have this little thing that won't shut up and your brain just wants it silenced. So then it goes to the deepest, darkest parts of itself. And it's like, hey, how about we do this? And they think it's like the worst thing ever, but it's like, bruh, it happens.
It happens. There's also that cute aggression thing where you see a kitten or something and you're like, oh, it's so cute. I just want to throw it into the ground as hard as I can.
I've never thought of that ever.
I've definitely thought it.
I don't have that at all.
I don't want to harm cute things.
No, it's not about harming. It's about like you just want to like squeeze it until it can't survive anymore.
I do not have that even remotely.
Never had that.
I've 100% had that.
I'm afraid of touching cute things. I don't want to hurt them.
Cute things. It's like it's the mechanism in nature. Things are so cute to have. It's a defense mechanism, right?
Yeah.
Like it completely works on me. When I see little adorable things, all I want to do is protect them at all costs, and I have no thought ever that strays to like I want to pop it or something.
Let's see the worst you've ever thought of.
I don't have that many things. I think the only thing that happens sometimes is it's just like I don't want to get too deep into it, but it's just like a member of my family where they're kind of a scumbag. And I think if properly diagnosed, it would be like legit sociopath. Mm-hmm. And I've definitely had visions of beating this person to death. I've had visions of like, this person deserves the most wholesome ass whooping I could just muster up to where my hands are now just applesauce, because I fucking wailed on them so goddamn hard.
Absolutely.
I've had shit like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's fairly normal, I think.
I've gotten so angry. About this like random things that I want to make a bomb that's so big it'll destroy the planet. Like such a serious bomb, like such a serious explosion that it will destroy everything.
You have brought this up on so many occasions.
It's not a joke. I know, it's like real.
And the only reason that it's okay for you to bring it up is that I know that you're just fucking incompetent enough that you wouldn't be able to carry out anything even close.
I am not good enough at chemistry or anything to be able to do that.
He can't remember his YouTube login. He's gonna make
Good point.
like a quantum bomb.
Like something to like level the fucking like. I want the explosion to be so big that no matter where you are on this planet, you would just go missing. And I've gotten so mad that crossed my mind, and I literally went to church afterwards. I was like 16. I was like, I gotta go to church because that was bad. That was a bad thought.
You got so mad that you went to church? Jesus Christ!
What shit is that?
BK Dino wrote in. He says, "Hello again, Trevor Raygun, Sweeny Belnathas, and Count Nigula."
Oh my god, I felt something there.
I feel like I should be the Belnathas, but like, okay. Your boy, it's Skidnig. Of course.
Skidnig.
Your boy Skidnig returns for possibly the last time in a while. Lost my job recently, but hoping to bounce back if this viral outbreak decides to take a day off. Best wishes to you, BK Dino.
Sorry about that, man. Stay safe.
Yeah, stay safe, man. Got another hypothetical, but before that, I wanted to mention, and this is cool. This is the main reason I chose this question. I wanted to mention that I was inspired by a question asked in the last episode, leading me to start work on a Snark Tank fan game in my spare time, along with a second project, Untitled Sweeny game. I got three playable characters on the way, with Chris's sections of the campaign playing like a mix of Halo 3 and the recent Doom games, Derek's being a third-person homage to Mass Effect, and Sweeney's as a Persona 5 style JRPG gameplay. Hope to show it off when it's ready and earn the coveted Sweeny seal of approval.
Yo, dude, you're already earning it, man.
That's fucking wild.
That is insane.
My guy, if you deliver that shit, that is, I will straight up pay you. Like that's fucking astounding. That bullshit out of the way. The question I wanted to ask was whether or not you would all want to visit Jurassic Park /World if it were real, Goldblum included. Hope you're all doing well in these uncertain times. Still want Derek's organs, deuces.
No, never.
Yeah, no organs. I'm not an organ donor ever or anything.
I'm gonna liquefy my organs when I die.
Organs are too valuable, so no one can have them.
Yeah, you would not catch me dead in Jurassic Park. You would not catch me alive in Jurassic Park. I would not be in Jurassic Park.
I think humans are too stupid to like keep that shit in order.
Yeah,
it's not gonna happen.
There's just
There's no reality. There's no fucking fan fiction where I would do that. Even in a fan fiction someone else wrote, they'd write it out that I would do it, then they'd wake up and it'd be different. Because I wouldn't fucking do that. I am so afraid of this world's old creatures. They make sounds that don't even make sense.
Yeah, the sound of a T-Rex. Well, is that really the sound of a T-Rex though?
Like, we don't know the sound of a T-Rex.
We don't know exactly. We can't mimic its vocals.
They might sound like complete pussies for all we know, honestly.
Some archaeologists or scientists, whatever the fuck, people that study all that, paleontology, whatever. They theorize some of them sound more like birds, where they squawk and they don't roar.
They're probably loud squawks.
But like that's just another theory. But then I said, like, what about fucking alligators? They're like dinosaurs and they sound ferocious. So
that's true. Yeah, I guess they would sound pretty horrifying if considering dinosaurs are so huge. What if
this is what I just thought? So sorry. I just watched Tiger King because everybody kept talking about it.
Yeah.
And if they can't, there's many problems with those zoos, and just having tigers. Now imagine having a zoo of animals that are 4 times the size, maybe even 10 times the size, actually.
There's not enough meat for like even just probably like a handful of them. Like how are you going to feed how are you going to feed a T-Rex really?
And how much fucking green would you need for like a brontosaurus or something? They're fucking massive. They're like way bigger. They're way bigger than T-Rexes.
That's probably like part of the reason why they died out, even just meteor aside.
I couldn't think of. I'm scared right now. Actually,
they're probably not that big of it. Like maybe they show up.
No, they're huge.
What if they? But what if
Brontosaurus is like way bigger than an elephant, dude.
Right. I understand that. But what if they sounded? What if a T-Rex sidled up to you and it sounded like it was like?
Look. Look, if it sounded to me, it was like, "Hi,
What up?
I would run because it's so big still. Its teeth are probably the size of my arms.
The thought of just like a fucking T-Rex going.
Like that scene when the fucking when it puts its eye up in Jurassic Park, like up to the fucking car or whatever. Like you can see its eye and then just goes.
Oh my god.
I love it.
Yeah, sorry, dude. There's no amount of money in this world that make me hang out with a dinosaur.
Yeah, you would have to pay me like I would do it for no less than $1 billion. Like you gotta really make it worth it. Because I don't know. I think I'm small enough that I could probably sneak into places where they probably couldn't get me. But like
I feel like that's not true.
I feel like it definitely.
You'd be way amazed by how much faster and stronger they are than you.
No, it's not about faster. It's about like me I'm gonna hide in like a box and then I just won't leave.
And then it just break the box and go because they could probably smell you too.
No, they can't
I
smell
don't need
me.
that. Yes, they can.
No, they're birds. Birds don't smell. They see.
Okay. You made me so angry just now. All right.
Yeah.
Zhao Hudson wrote in, salutations, you snarkoleptic sween slaves. What fictional world from any medium would make a good tabletop RPG or setting in D&D? Don't say Halo, there already is one. I didn't know that there was one. That sounds fucking
there
crazy.
is.
I thought immediately Castlevania.
Castlevania sounds cool. Probably Mass Effect, honestly. That just sounds like it's already has most of the framework done.
I kind of see a lot of the especially if you use figures and stuff too.
Yeah.
I see I would buy that immediately. So I'm totally on board.
I am not a tabletop person, but I would absolutely play a tabletop Mass Effect game, like without a doubt. Like that sounds fucking right up my alley.
Maybe Dark Souls, but like maybe a Souls game.
That's just already kind of like what you have, though. It's just like you could. That's kind of what D&D is, isn't it?
It is similar to that in a sense, but like I would like the idea of more because like the problem with Dark Souls is that there's just too much shit going on for you to deal with at once. You gotta kind of deal with your bullshit at a time. So I would like to be more than one person. Like a tabletop version of that would be pretty cool, I guess.
I would
just
like. I like sci. Like the main reason I don't really do D&D is just because like I'm not really that enthralled by fantasy. Like I feel like fantasy is just one of those things where it's like I'll play it in like a video game, but I have no desire to like go to like a fucking like a Renaissance fair and be like enthralled with the olden times or anything. It's just like
Truth be told, I like fantasy. I'm definitely more of a steampunk fan. Like I definitely like steampunk more. Like I like the idea of like old and new put together. That's definitely like my niche.
Like Will Smith's Wild Wild West.
You want that fucking spider, huh?
I'm thinking
spider, huh?
I'm thinking like just right around the time of the Industrial Revolution.
Wiki wow wow.
1880s.
Wiki wow. Wiki wow.
Don't sing that song, please, guys. Stop. Behave yourselves.
Take it down to the Wild Wild West.
Yeah, I don't know. I never. No disrespect. The steampunk thing. I never got it.
That's cool. That's cool. Thanks.
But no, yeah, no, I agree with Chris though. Sci-fi is like my favorite thing. Just everything of like that intrigues me. Just futuristic stuff and space and whatnot. But I am dark fantasy stuff like that is really cool to me too. So like when you talk about a Renaissance fair, like I like the idea of having like a fucking a sword and a fucking smoked turkey leg, and I'm good to go. So
I like the turkey leg part of it.
I like swords.
The turkey leg, cool. Like if you go to like medieval times or something, the turkey leg is the highlight. Like you don't give a shit really about the idiots.
The show.
Yeah,
I went to one recently. It was pretty dope, honestly.
I haven't been to one recently. Like I went to one in high school. It was either high school or junior high school. I think it was like.
I went to one in middle school too in the city. The one in Jersey, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And we went to it, and I was like, I hate all of this. But then they sat us in like that Coliseum where they had the people hitting each other with sticks, and it looked stupid. But then they gave me this big ass turkey leg, and I was like, oh, I like this now. And they gave me like a chalice and shit. It was cool. I like that part of it. Like I would eat at a like if they had like a, and I'm sure this exists. I just haven't bothered to look for it.
Yeah, just somewhere. Yeah.
But like if they had like a medieval themed like just restaurant where they gave you like a fucking huge ass slab of meat, like a fucking golden chalice with wine and Like that'd be fucking. I'm all into that.
Horns full of ale and shit.
Yeah,
and
like
That sounds
dude,
pretty fun.
I think
I'd be totally down.
I think the food, honestly, like the food part of like fantasy is like the most interesting part to me, which is like really strange.
What about the murder? The murder is definitely part of it. In like a stadium, that shit's fucking probably dope.
Yeah, but like I always just think of like, oh, this would be cooler with like lasers.
I like how intimate it gets when you have a sword because you got to run it into them. You kind of get stuck on them sometimes.
Yeah,
It's
you
real,
gotta wiggle it out. You're
real
insane.
passionate.
You're a problem. You're a problem person. Somebody should keep an eye on you.
I'm fine.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. That's what everybody says.
I'm fine, dude. Don't worry, I haven't snapped yet. I'm still me.
Yeah. I don't know. I would say probably like Castlevania or something, or maybe I think Mass Effect is probably like the one that I'm.
Yeah, I feel like Mass Effect definitely would be dope.
Yeah. You still have to play Mass Effect.
Yeah, dude.
And now we've got all the time in the
I
world.
have all the time in the universe now. I could probably stream playing Mass Effect too, so I have no reason not to play.
Yeah, you should do it, and then you can come back and be like, "Fuck, I can't believe I've waited this long. Like, what the fuck's wrong with me? I'm an idiot."
Okay, you calm down. Thank you.
I just wish there was a way to. I don't think Mass Effect 2 is backwards compatible on Xbox yet. I think it's just.
It is.
Is
It
it
is.
2?
You played it. I saw you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was playing 1.
Really?
You can play all three of them.
Really? The discs?
Absolutely.
Oh, shit.
Right before Andromeda came out, all three of them became backwards compatible.
Oh, fuck. I did not know that because like I thought because like on the Xbox store, like you can only buy Mass Effect 1. You can only download that one.
Why?
I don't know.
That's so stupid. I don't.
Yeah,
I guess because it's not tied to EA. It has to be that.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe.
Oh, that makes a ton of sense actually. Whoops. Oh wow,
Whoops.
I can't believe I missed out on something that obvious. Yeah.
Well, I have multiple. I have bought. I have like. I could give you 2 and 3 because I have multiple copies of it for some reason.
Oh, well, I have the discs for 2 and 3. I just didn't.
Yeah, then fucking do it.
Yeah, I didn't even think to fucking.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm definitely gonna play 2 and 3.
Yeah, fuck. Okay. Well, I might play
Absolutely.
Mass Effect again.
Do it. I was actually just finally gonna stop being lazy and download the mods I need so I can have controller support on PC.
Oh yeah.
I just haven't done it. I was just like, why don't I do this so I can stream Mass Effect because I talk
you know
about
what?
it so much.
You know what's I never actually played any of the DLCs for 3 either.
That's the thing that fucking I keep coming back to it. That's the shit that makes, and I feel like a lot of people miss this because even I was watching a review of what was it, Red Letter Media? They're reviewing Picard, and they were just talking about how it's a ripoff of Mass Effect, and it is. But Rich Evans even said, because everybody says it, PewDiePie says it, everybody says, oh, 3 shit. Like everybody just says it, and I feel like no one went back and played the DLCs. When you put them all on, the game is fucking amazing. It really competes with 2 because of how charming and you get so many different answers. You know exactly what the Reapers are.
Yeah.
You know. There's so much. You get this other stupid Jamaican alien who's kind of funny. I like him. This guy Javik. He has a Jamaican accent for some fucking reason. And like I keep saying, the Citadel DLC, it came out as part 1 and 2, and that is the real ending. So I always say, fuck the other ending that everybody was mad about. The Citadel, where you get some shore leave and you do all this crazy shit. It's the most charming thing ever. It's perfect.
I thought, I guess I just didn't bother with it because I was actually okay with Mass Effect 3. I didn't have a problem with it really that much. Yeah, it's wild. That game's so good. But speaking of, since you brought it up, Red Letter Media. What's Mike's, the Plinkett guy's name? Mike. It's like S something.
Yeah, I forget his last name, but yeah.
Mike from Red Letter Media recently voiced in a pilot that aired on Adult Swim that was created by my good friends Zach Hadel and Michael Cusack. It's called Smiling Friends. You can look it up on Adult Swim. I totally forgot to bring this up. They are some of the funniest people I know, and that pilot is so great. So if you want to check that out, please do give them some support. I'm sure Adult Swim is like monitoring that link and seeing how much traffic it gets.
Yes.
So do your boy a favor and watch a nice little episode of some Smiling Friends on Adult Swim.
For sure. Definitely give it a watch.
It's fantastic to see that and see that, because it's such a weird thing to me, seeing like the Adult Swim's been around for so long, and then seeing people that so my first experience with Michael was I think it was in 2012 when I saw the YOLO video, and I was fucking like losing my shit. I was like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. This is great. And then because it threw you, Chris, I think we all went out for drinks, and then Zach was there. And I was like, this is so weird, man. Like, fucking how many years ago? Like 6 years ago, I was like watching your shit. And then I found out about Psychic Pebbles at some point. And then I'm like, we're all just chilling here. And then cool guys, and now all of a sudden they got a pilot up on Adult Swim. I'm just like, that shit's surreal, man.
It is
really cool. I'm super proud of those guys. Zach was like literally the first guest on this podcast.
He was.
That's right.
So
Zach is he's probably the funniest man I've ever met in my life, and I know a ton of hilarious people, and he's up there.
He's a unique soul.
Like that he's like naturally funny. Like he's not just. It doesn't seem, like how there's people that are like, oh, I got to be on.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I got to be on, or yeah, he's a fucking just a funny, silly person.
I'm not gonna continue sucking his dick, but like, just give that pilot a watch. It's
keep going, Chris. Keep on.
I
can't do his voice.
Come on, Chris. Keep on fucking doing what you're doing, man.
Just watch the pilot. It's really good, and that's about it. I think we've got a few more here.
Okay, cool.
What do we got? Nel Mecco wrote in. He says, if you could fuse with someone like they do in Dragon Ball Z, who would you fuse with? This actually got me thinking. Can you fuse with the opposite sex?
I don't care.
Like, what happens?
I don't care.
I just don't care about that. Like,
Dragon Ball Z is clearly sexist, and we'll never find out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I never like, because like that's just adding a whole level of problems you don't really need to have. You could fuse with another. You could fuse with a woman, yeah, but then you're just gonna add that whole problem, and you're like, I'd rather fuse with a man just to keep everything, keep the genitalia looking like not comedic.
Yeah. Keep everything symmetrical. I think the
there you go.
Imagine you fuse with a girl and then this is your dick emerging from a vagina, pretty much.
That's so scary. Yeah, because women never fuse in that show.
Well, well, they do.
They don't.
In Super, they fuse.
What?
Kefla.
Oh, I didn't watch that.
And Super is like, I don't know, man. Super is really entertaining, but it's also look. I just want to say it kind of seemed like, remember when South Park was making fun of Family Guy?
Yeah.
And like how they make their shit is manatees like put their jokes together.
Yeah.
I feel like Dragon Ball Super is that. Like they're just throwing a bunch of shit at a wall, and I'm like, all right, this is the next thing we're gonna do, and I'm like, where is this going? Like this billions of universe and tournaments and this and all these people, Super Saiyan Rose and this and I was like, all right, come on, guys.
This is what it is. Guys. We love Dragon Ball Z when we were little, but then what happened is Super came out while we were adults, and we've already watched a ton of fantastic shows, and you're like, whoa, this show is really not good. Whoever wrote this is insane.
Yeah,
I
think Dragon Ball Z is still pretty good. I don't think it's just nostalgia. I think it is. There's a lot of charm.
It's definitely nostalgia, man. I love that show, and I look at it and I'm like, whoa.
No, I don't think so. I disagree. I think there is a heavy amount of nostalgia that helps it like be really great. But I think Dragon Ball Z is still a good show, regardless of whether or not there's nostalgia in it. The problem is now it just like back then they kind of invented they kind of like pioneered the formula of just like transformations, and that was like cool at the time because it was like the only thing that was doing it. But now we live in a post Dragon Ball Z world where everybody has copied Dragon Ball Z. So when you see when you see Dragon Ball Super doing the same thing again, it's kind of like, oh well, this was cool the first time, but like this isn't gonna work again. Like you can't just have like random transformations in here and just expect that to be the driving force of the show. It's like that's not interesting. And also just I just think the arcs and sagas were less interesting.
Because the most iconic characters were already introduced. You're not like, okay, I'd say Lord Beerus, or what did he say, Beerus? I think Lord Beerus was a really good character.
He was interesting, definitely.
Beerus is cool. I like Beerus.
I think past there's some good characters in there, but I feel like he's the only thing that comes close to like the characters that were introduced in DBZ.
Yeah.
Goku helps Frieza, who is the man that eradicated his whole planet. His species is gone because of that guy. And then Vegeta also agreed when Vegeta was pretty much one of his slaves. Okay, it just makes you think like these guys are sociopaths, like they're psychopaths. They're just the Saiyans are just lunatics.
I mean,
all they care about is fighting. They don't care about anything else. They just care about fighting and getting strong. They don't care who they harm, who they hurt. It's fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's just get stronger together.
It's weird. I think there's more merit to Dragon Ball Z than there is to Super. I think from even if the writing in a lot of even in like all the Dragon Balls really have been like pretty whatever. I think
Dragon Ball was written well.
I really don't think so, but I think
because of it's because it's not an action show; it's a comedy show, and it is funny.
Right,
it has a basis already.
I don't know. I think for the most part, like the character interactions in Z were like really, really good, and in Super they just kind of felt like in Super it felt like they reset a lot. Like Vegeta had a whole bunch of character development throughout Z, and then like in Super it's just gone.
Oh my god, Vegeta.
And it's just really weird
Fucking
because
guy.
he was like the best character in Z. So like I just don't know why they would just walk back.
Vegeta's definitely the best character in Z. He's the biggest piece of shit in Z though.
Yeah.
Like, he's a huge piece of garbage. But like
I mean, that's what makes him a good character though. That's like exactly why.
I guess he's still a piece of shit.
You really do have brain damage. It's such a weird.
No, Vegeta's the worst. He's a piece of shit.
Okay, sure.
So many problems are his fault. Objectively. Fact.
Technically, everything is Frieza's fault.
No. When his son died.
Yes. Objectively.
Well, I guess, yeah.
Frieza is literally
it all, yeah.
Frieza is literally the entire reason why Goku is on Earth to begin with, which is the only reason anything bad happens.
You're right. Frieza's awesome. I love Frieza. I love his laugh. I love how racist he is. It's fantastic.
Frieza is such a piece of shit, and you're like, oh, Frieza's great, but Vegeta, I don't know about that guy.
That's kind of the problem. That's kind of the problem with Super though, is that like it relies so heavily on Frieza. Like if you're watching Super for the first time, like you have no fucking clue why that matters. But like you could watch, like I watched Z, and I didn't know anything about Dragon Ball. Like I watched Dragon Ball way later, and I loved Z without needing any of the pretext of the original Dragon Ball to enjoy it. But like Super feels very, very much like you need Z to really even care about anything that's happening in Super.
It's like a straight up sequel. That's why.
I guess so. Yeah.
And I feel like, and then obviously Toriyama is famous for forgetting shit.
Do you remember Launch?
Lunch?
You remember Launch?
Who is that?
It's Krillin's girlfriend.
Oh, the girl,
right.
the blonde chick or the blue haired chick?
The blonde.
That's right.
Wait, she might have been blue haired. I don't remember.
And then it was a blonde chick that was dating Yamcha, right?
No, fuck, I don't even remember. We can't even remember, but like he forgot about like one of these characters entirely. I like Toriyama though because he doesn't seem to care. He's just like, yeah,
I forgot it. So what? Watch it. You're gonna watch it anyway.
You're gonna watch it anyway, and you're gonna argue about it on podcasts that have nothing to do with anime at all.
You're very right. Also, we had a question that we completely forgot about, the whole fusing with people. We ended up talking about how much we were disappointed in Dragon Ball Super.
I would fuse with any of the people that I am tagged in on Instagram because, oh, hey, they have glasses and short hair. This is Chris. Ha ha ha. I would fuse with them since nothing would change, according to everybody on the fucking internet.
I remember tagging you in something, or I think I clipped like 4 different people or something.
There's always these like cringy kids on TikTok with like short hair and glasses. And,
one of them was on TikTok for sure.
I'm sure
that
one of them
shit's so fucked up. Every time I see it, I'm just like, this is just terrible. Constant.
If you put glasses and short hair on Bill Cosby, people would comment, "Oh look, it's Chris Raygun." I'm so fucking sure of it at this point. Like it doesn't even. I've seen people who don't even look close to people even.
Dude, it's so funny because everyone does it. If you look up at Chris Raygun on fucking Instagram, you're gonna see so many just skinny white people with glasses on that don't look anywhere near him. I'm like, how does that look like you?
I wish I could find that post.
This puts
I'm gonna find it.
This is the thing that gives me explicit authority to speak on race relations, because now I understand what it's like for like when hey, you look like, when somebody says, hey, this black person looks like that black person, and even though they don't look the same, I feel like now I have the exact same experience. Exactly the same.
Exactly, because you experienced their pain.
No, absolutely no different.
Their pain.
In fact, I would go so far as to say I understand it a little bit more and a little bit better.
You need to stop talking now. You need to stop talking. If I could fuse with anyone, I would definitely fuse with, like, I don't know, somebody with like the military launch codes.
What is wrong? Jesus.
So that I'd hold the fucking planet at ransom.
Okay, so I just found the post. This I did this in July.
Please.
Of shit, I might have been in Norway at this point. So I guess I was just like, fucking, hey. Oh yeah, I was, because that's when I started using TikTok for the first time. That's where I saw you, Chris. So I just retweeted it right now. So Sweeny, go and look at this and tell me these three motherfuckers are not Chris Ray Gun. Like I actually did a good job.
I'm literally excited. I cannot
I
wait.
remember seeing this. The cartoon guy from fucking Johnny Bravo I get constantly.
That is for sure you.
That's not for sure me. It's just a person with glasses and short hair.
Oh. He has the same demeanor.
That fucking cartoon from Johnny Bravo, that dude looking back with the fucking glasses and the short hair, I can't even count. I can't even begin to fucking count.
Dude, it's so fucking funny.
I first saw that meme because it was attached to when the beats fire, but then a British nigga starts rapping. And then, like, it was that looking all mad. I was laughing so hard because I agree.
Yeah.
I think
Dude, people
there's so few British people that sound decent when they're rapping. It's fucking awful.
It's not even that they sound decent, it's that they have no fucking bars. Like every British rapper I hear is just spitting about fucking nursery rhymes and shit. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Spitting about nursery
rhymes? You fucking crumpet eating idiot. Get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't want to listen to what you got to talk about.
Wait, what are you talking about? Fucking nursery rhymes?
They have very weak rap lyrics.
I mean, they're weak, but then it's also just like the way that they enunciate. It's just not good. Like there's a group called Foreign Beggars. It's this fucking Indian guy that basically is grade A under A, and then there's fucking this guy that's like KSI. They're like these British fucking like Nigerian and this fucking Punjab fuck, and they're actually because they actually got me a little bit because I used to hate dubstep, and then they kind of started incorporating it a little bit into the music, and I'm like, oh, I can fuck with some of this. But Foreign Beggars, it's just like I like them, but then they also just and then like, oh, you got a whole lot of hype, and I'm like, ugh. Like sometimes it just makes me cringe. Whole lot of this and a lot of this, bro, and I'm like, you don't sound good. You like just that British shit doesn't sound good when it's rhyming, dude. It doesn't sound good at all. That's why like so many British people or even Australian people, you can't even tell that they're where they're from when they're singing. Because they shed their accent a lot of the times.
Yeah, I mean that also has to do with the fact that we just have the biggest market for that kind of thing.
That's true.
Like I mean, K-pop is pretty massive here, and that's like not.
I'm so upset about that, but whatever. Yeah.
I don't know if I mind British rap that much. I don't listen to it, but like it sounds the same, just British to me. It just sounds like rap but British, which is what it is.
Like because I think the problem is, and look at this. I think this is the issue. Because there's a lot of urban areas in the UK, but the problem is they sound so proper, so it doesn't sound good.
I don't know, man. I've been to the UK and I've been like not even near the hood.
Areas.
No, it's not even really the hood. It's just like nearing the hood, and they sound confusing. They sound like the words I was getting used at me. I didn't know if they were cursing at me. I didn't know if they were speaking at me, but I was like, these guys are so aggressive. Like I felt scared. And I'm a big dude. I'm not scared of most things.
Chris, who's that guy? You replied to him and you called him like Harry Potter or something. Who's that fucking guy? He just replies on Twitter, that British dude, and he just talks shit.
Oh my Grossgore.
That guy is fucking hilarious, man, because his accent, it's so medieval. Like, where's that part of England?
Yeah,
I want to know.
He sounds
it's
like
not there anymore.
He sounds like some Cockney dude from Monty Python. It's like the strangest. He's a really off-putting soul. But I guess I don't know him really all that well. But I know Dan Bull, and I've worked with Dan Bull a couple times, and he's like a British rapper, or he raps. I don't know if he's like he does like a lot of video game stuff. But I always heard his stuff, and I was like, this sounds like rap to me.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
I mean, it's not all. It's like I'm not shitting on everybody.
Probably the vast majority. I would probably agree. I'd probably think that's a fair assessment.
I don't know, but I'm also American. I'm also an American New York rap fan. So like I'm very very picky about my rap music.
I only like my rap with Ed Sheeran features.
Okay.
What was that, fucking Eminem or some shit?
Yeah,
I'm sure. Yeah. What the fuck happened, dude? What? It started in 2010, man, when he did the "Love the Way You Lie," and then he just went that route forever. I'm gonna feature with famous people, and I'm gonna get rid of third bars, or I'm gonna my third verse. I mean, is gonna just be like 4 bars and then another chorus or something. I don't know. It just I was like, what happened? What is this?
Way too much truth right now.
Yeah, it's weird because like I was listening to a lot of it recently, and I was like, oh, I was listening to some of the new stuff, and it's like, it's whatever, it's fine, I guess. But then like you go back, and it's like I listened to Kill You recently again because
So good.
it's like
it's so good.
it's so ridiculous. I couldn't believe what I was listening to. I was like, this is so much fun to listen to.
It's so great. Even that he's like laughing in the choruses as the choruses start the like the second and third and the end of the song. He's like laughing, letting you know how fucking silly this shit is.
There's like a playfulness that is just kind of gone now because now it's like weird. Like there's still like he plays it off as playful, but he's writing stuff that's supposed to be serious, but there's nothing serious to write about.
His time is over. I think this is what it is. Like,
I mean, musicians in general have a pretty like the shelf life of music is pretty. It's a pretty tight. It's a pretty tight shelf life. I feel like you're not gonna.
I don't. It depends. It just depends on what you make it about.
No, I don't think so. I think name somebody who was making music in the '90s who is still making music today that is good at it.
Jay-Z, literally, his last album got mass appeal. Mass appeal. Who
After
else?
how long?
Good at it? After how long?
After how long?
Like how long did it take for it to get like a lot of good appeal?
No. How long since he was good? Like how long was between the most recent hit and the one before it?
Prior, well, dang, like 6 years.
Dude, I've heard nothing about Jay-Z in the last 15 years.
His last album got a lot of appeal. The Story of OJ was a fantastic song. I hate Jay-Z actually. In fact, I think I hate him actually, but he made a really good album.
No man, to be honest, the last time he was on my radar was Death of Autotune.
Death of Autotune, that was a great fucking man.
When was that?
Man. That was the last time he was like 08, 09 or something. I forget.
2007?
Yeah, man.
It was something around that time.
That's what I'm saying. Like I knew about that. I didn't know about the one that you're talking about. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. Is like
But you also don't follow hip hop.
I agree though.
Well, I certainly didn't follow hip hop back then. And I knew about Death of Autotune, but I didn't know about the fucking I think I knew about the song The Story of OJ for like a day, and I listened to it. I was like, it's fine. And then that was it.
There's a lot. I agree with you, man. There's a lot of fucking. It's just when you get older, I think just the vigor, a lot of the passion fleets, because the last like most authentic Eminem record that I heard is that song Crack a Bottle.
Yeah.
And that was like in like 09 or something like that, whatever. I don't know if it was on Relapse or the other one, Recovery. I don't know which one it was.
I hated that trio album, man. All three of those albums I hated.
They're all bad, but I just like that song, that record, that fucking Crack a Bottle. Like, say who else was on it? Fucking Dr. Dre and 50 Cent. It's such a good song. And I was like, this sounds like classic Eminem. Like this would be on the Marshall Mathers LP or something like that, or any of those older albums. And then it just completely, I was like, what the fuck is this? Even like Rap God, I was like, oh, that one line when he's just going fast, that's cool. But the song as a whole is fucking trash.
I hated that. Oh my god, Eminem makes me sad.
Fucking song.
This just happens, man. Like I don't know of any. I just don't know of any band that is still doing stuff today.
You have to understand your time.
I don't know if it necessarily means you have to stop making music, but like I just think, you know, at a certain point, like the problem with Eminem is that he's still so boastful. Like nobody, like Green Day too is like another one where they're like, oh, check out our new fucking punk rock album, and it's like it's clean as shit, and it's like what? Come on,
so different.
Like come on, dude. Like I don't even really hate that new Green Day record as much as like everybody else does, but that's not a good record. That's not what I would like. That's not what I expect from like a Green Day album. Or at least, like, not what I used to, like, when I was a kid, like, when they were...
Yeah. You know, something I don't understand about musicians, and this is something that I always try to... and this is something that well, it's not that I don't understand. I think it's something you have to grow out of, because I remember when I first started making music as, like, a 14-year-old, and I was so proud of what I made, and I was showing people, and then years later, I went back and listened to that music, and I was, like, embarrassed. Like I can't believe I showed people this stuff.
Yeah.
It's objectively bad, and I was like, I can't believe... nobody told me, because it would have helped me a lot quicker, but people, you know, they're nice. And I feel like there's a lot of people that are still in that, like the reason that Eminem could release that whatever the fuck that record was before Kamikaze, and everyone hated it, and it's like, bro,
Kamikaze was garbage too.
Like it wasn't great. But what was the one before that? Like
Recovery,
Revival, or
Revival, yeah.
Revival.
Yeah, like him not being able to listen to that and be like, compare it to the stuff that made you who you are. Like you can't differentiate at this point. Like when I was young, I couldn't. I made stuff and I thought it was good, and then when I got older and I'm like, all right, so I'm good now. And moving forward, if my shit's not up to the standard of this, I know I'm making bad music. And
The thing is that everybody respects Eminem's like Eminem's talent is undeniable.
I think
You
that's the
understand that
frustrating. I
he
think that's the
is.
frustrating part of it is that like you know that these people are capable of making cool shit, and I think that's that's the frustrating part of a lot of anytime a musician is sort of like falling off or they're not like really
I feel
hitting
you.
or they're
The thing
really
is that
not
like
hitting the same vibes that they were capable of hitting like really
the
easily.
thing is that a lot of people are fans of Eminem because of he's raps so fast like that. But the thing is that his talent of being able to rap really fast and put together bars that sound good are fantastic. The thing is that his album making, he's not really good at making albums anymore. That is like the thing that's definitely gone. He could still jump on a freestyle and like tear anyone apart who would be stupid enough to engage him, other than maybe Andre 3000. But like he's his album wise, he's just it's not fun like it used to be. It's not like as wild as it used to be. It's just kind of like this was really watered down.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird to listen to. It's weird to hear Revival and then like immediately afterwards listen to that Machine Gun Kelly track where he just fucking eviscerates him, and it's like so fun to listen to, and it's like playful and like mean, and it's like I like this.
He seems like I don't know, like he just I don't know what you want to call it, like a ballad rapper. Like he wants to just do that. Like he wants to just like it seems like he wants to play at the Super Bowl at some point or something.
In fairness, he could probably. He's doing what he wants to do, and like whatever, that's fine. But like he's earned the right to do it, I think. But like I still feel like
absolutely.
I don't know. Like at a certain point, you gotta. It really is just in the attitude. Like if you're just not hitting the things that you used to hit, then don't pretend like you're still hitting it. Like that's the thing. Like you can't be Green Day and be like our album's punk rock, and it's like none of this, no trap beats. And it's like you can't.
Oh yeah, that shit. Like, shut the fuck up.
You can't do that. Like I like you guys, but like you can't do that. This isn't the 90s anymore. This isn't even the early 2000s. Like you can't pretend like you're still on this high horse. If you want to continue making music because like, hey, you know what? We've earned the right to do this. We've earned the right to do whatever the hell we want. And like for most of these people, I would say, yeah, that's probably accurate.
Yeah.
But you just got to stop pretending like
you know who did a good job actually is the band. I mean, there's actually a few metal bands I could point to that have been around since the 90s and they're still making decent music.
I always felt like someone that would be able to come back and make a great album also be Kanye West. But I think he just got obsessed with changing his style so much that he like started fucking up.
I caught a glimpse of old school Kanye in that I Love It song or whatever, when he's just, I'm a sick fuck, I like a quick fuck, and then his flow in that and just how in his cadence and how he seemed like he was actually having fun with his track. And it kind of reminded me of things like, it reminded me of what was that Make Her Say, that Poker Face song?
Oh yeah, Poker Face
with Kid Cudi
and Common. Yep.
Common. And dude, like I love that playful fucking song. And it kind of reminded me of that. I was like, hey, Kanye can still do it if he wanted to.
I think he could. He's such a progressive artist mentally that he's like, I gotta change. I can't go, because like if he could easily make an old like soul hip hop album, like he did in the freaking when he did for like a College Dropout or like late registration, and it would sell off the charts. But things I just don't think he wants to, and I'm like, I don't get why you're doing this to us. We're begging you.
At the end of the day, they're just gonna do whatever the hell they want to do. And I guess it makes sense. It's kind of hard to tell somebody to make a song. You know what I mean? Like you can't
we just sound like entitled cunts,
Yeah. I would like, these people to make good shit again, or like maybe not even good shit, because maybe that's a bit too demanding, because it implies that the only good shit is the shit that I like. But
that's true.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Hey, was there a question attached to this? How did we get here?
I don't know how we got here, but let's just keep going. If Smaug was black, he'd be Tom Sweeny. Like the dragon?
Smaug?
I'm assuming.
Smaug. He says, how hard is it to get guests on the podcast? I know it's a little hectic right now with everything going on, but I would really like to see Zach on the podcast. Well, lucky for you, he was. But we'll definitely get him back on again. Or maybe anybody from Sleepy Cabin, especially Corey. Again, I know it's a little hectic, so don't worry about it right now. Blah, 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 blah. Hope you guys are doing good with everything that's happening. Love your work. Keep it up. It's not hard necessarily, especially it's probably easier now than it probably ever has been, just because everything's kind of online right now.
Yeah.
So that part is actually kind of easy. It really is just a matter of getting everything set up. We're still working on some sponsors and getting some sponsors set up. I've actually made some pretty good progress on that. We'll probably have some sponsors in the next, maybe in the next few weeks, which is pretty good.
That's hot.
Yeah, man.
That's hot.
So I think once we get the ball rolling on that stuff, we wanted to do the video podcast, but I guess that's just not happening.
Take another quick break.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you understand why, but
Yeah.
I fucking built that I set up the room exactly for a video. Too.
Yeah, there's a whole setup.
Put up sound foam and fucking I have an explosive barrel that God damn it.
Maybe in May, I don't know.
Maybe in May.
Hopefully in no later than June, things start getting like society again.
But yeah, we'll get some guests on the podcast. It's probably gonna be easy now. I put a tweet a while ago on Twitter asking like who do people want to see on the podcast, and I already kind of asked some people who are on that list, and so far everybody's agreed. So
It'd be dope.
We just got to set up a time and like when we're gonna do that. But yeah, absolutely, we'll have that. Liam Birch wrote in question for Chris and Derek: what are your favorite Mass Effect characters? You should say who. You fool.
He said what?
What are your favorite Mass Effect characters?
What a piece of shit.
Mass Effect.
God.
Shepard's dildo is my favorite character.
Shepard's blaster.
Mine are Miranda for giving a 10-year-old me my sexual awakening, and Morden because I think he's one of the most morally complex characters in the game. I'm gonna be a basic bitch and say Garrus because I can't not. He's just so cool. I love everything about Garrus.
He's the best best friend that's ever been written, ever. Like he's such a good companion that like that's the guy that like I always want this guy to be in my fucking life forever. I think he's a really good guy.
I genuinely think Garrus does like Mass Effect and Mass Effect like Mass Effect 2 is a great game and like the Mass Effect series is like really great, but like Garrus, I feel like single-handedly does so much of the heavy lifting in enjoying that game. Like he is such a huge reason as to why I like that series. Like I think about Garrus immediately when I think about Mass Effect. It takes a couple more leaps. It takes a couple more firing synapses to get to every other character or like even just the plot of what happens. Because Garrus is so front and center in my brain. I don't know. He's a great character.
It's your fault, Sweeny.
I'm sorry about that. Haven't played it yet.
Fucking game.
I'm gonna stop yelling.
What about you?
I mean, mine's obvious because Tali
Zora
Zora is tattooed on my neck. Tali is definitely. I love tech and technology. That's all she is. I like her especially in the third game because of she has this fucking attack drone that is just so fucking useful, and she wields a shotgun. Which is great. Just having some fucking alien broad with a shotgun. Can't go wrong with that, man. She's quirky as shit. Like just really, really adorable. And the thing is, I don't want to get too deep into it either because fucking you still need to play this shit. So and then it'd just be better if you experience everything and not have us say little things and then you anticipate it and it's not gonna hit as hard.
I don't mind you guys spoiling.
No, because look, man, it's like when I was a little bit invested in I wouldn't say a little bit. I was a lot invested in the Gears series, and then the third one played. And one of my friends beat it in like a day or something. And then I logged on Facebook. He's like, "Oh man, I can't believe Dom killed himself." And I was like, "What? Why would you do that? Why would you do that?"
That's such a dick thing. That's such a dick thing to do, like on the day.
Yeah, that's like way too soon.
I couldn't believe. I was like, "Why would you?" So then. When the Mad World song started playing, I immediately knew he's gonna kill himself. It just completely took the sting out of it. I actually liked Dom as a character, and I felt bad for him when he found his wife in the second one. So I was kind of like, even though it's just a meathead shooter, third person shooter, there was a little bit of a story to it that actually got me a little bit invested, and I was so fucking annoyed. And so what I'm saying is that, hey. Certain little things you'll enjoy so much better if you don't know beforehand. That's how I feel.
Yeah, for real.
That makes sense.
Sure. Yeah. That sucks, man. Gears of War is like weird because like it is like one of those meathead shooters, but I feel like it has a lot of heart, honestly. Like those 3 games in particular are just really there's something about them that's really weird because they would be completely generic if they were just written slightly differently.
Yeah. And really dude, there was a really like good moment when Augustus Cole, like the biggest black dude on earth,
He was dangerous.
or wherever the fuck they were. He was hallucinating because they just miss how things used to be, and he starts playing his football like he thinks he's playing football again,
Yeah.
and he's like doing his spins and his hurdles and shit, and he has to like snap out of it, and it was such a like sad moment where it's like, god damn, dude, like this war is weighing so heavily on them that it's getting to the point where he's starting to go crazy and shit, and the little moments like that kind of just showed like the charm in such a fucking ridiculous chainsawing motherfuckers apart type of game.
Yeah.
So it's
a
kind of a
nice-
good balance.
Cole.
I actually really, it's weird. Like, I never consider myself like a fan of Gears of War, really, and then I start thinking about it, and I'm like, I really like Gears of War.
I like it a lot. I've definitely
Gears.
played that series like 2, 3, at least probably 3 times, and I enjoyed it. I even enjoyed the 4th one. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I haven't played either 4 or 5 yet. I played 1, 2, and 3 a lot. 2 have some of the most, like, me and my closest friend have such fond memories of just trying to beat the waves every time and just getting shat on.
Horde mode was fucking that was some really game changing shit, dude.
Horde mode in Gears of War
was
2 is probably
good.
the best wave defense game mode I've played in anything, even since Gears of War. Like, the Gears of War's Horde mode, Gears of War 2 specifically, that Horde mode and Halo 3 ODST Firefight, and those games came out pretty close to each other. Those were like some of the best wave defense modes because they felt like really dire and very like, oh my god, we're being fucking swarmed. Like, it felt almost like a Destiny raid where like you really had to fucking communicate. You really had to be like, listen, I'm getting a shield. I'm gonna go and barricade us in this building, and you really felt like you were in the middle of this crushing defeat. It felt like the last It felt like the last level of Halo Reach, like when you're just trying to survive. It just felt like that, but a game mode dedicated to that entire feeling, and it was so cool. And,
I understand.
And Firefight felt like that too in ODST because you were just such a puny little bitch,
weak piece of shit.
Yeah, like
ODST is so pathetic.
Yeah, like
I love that game.
You couldn't do like half the shit that Master Chief could, and like you didn't have as much health, and a brute was like a big deal. What in the future games, like both in Halo and in Gears, like in Gears of War 3, they brought Horde mode back, but they were like, hey, there's like, you can like build defenses now. And
they made it an actual tower defense, opposed to just being like an enduring wave.
Yeah, like you could build like trip wires, and you could build like auto turrets and stuff. And it's like, well, this doesn't feel like I'm fighting for my life. This feels like I'm fighting for my life with the military defense budget at my disposal. Like I don't feel claustrophobic. A tower defense was just such a weird way for that mode to go. Yeah. And then in Halo, when they brought it forward, it was just like, hey, you're a Spartan now, so you could like jetpack around and like and crawl up on brutes' backs and just assassinate them. And it's like, well, this went from like a really dire like almost a survival horror game mode to just like you were playing like a railgun shooter at an arcade and you were just trying to rack up points. It really is weird, like that they just like hit the nail on the head that one time and then just never really got it afterwards.
That's
the reason why is because it wasn't the same developing team afterwards. That's why.
No, that's not true. It was Bungie did Reach.
Bungie did Reach, really?
Yeah.
Oh no, I thought it was okay. Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, there was no what you call it, firefighting for.
Yeah, there was no firefighting. They replaced it with this
right.
like I don't even know what they replaced it with. I don't even remember. It was really bad. But like, yeah, I don't know. That shit was. How did we even get here?
Okay, that was my fault. So because I was talking about spoilers, and so I brought up Gears.
Oh.
But we were talking about favorite Mass Effect characters.
Right.
So yeah, you said
cool.
Garrus.
Did they ever show Tally's face?
Tally. Yes, they did.
Is it
so? But here's the thing: that was so it's so disappointing for the reason that it wasn't an original creation. Because if it was, it probably would have been, because people have speculated. Looking at her through her mask, you can kind of see her a little bit. It looks like her skin might be a little shade of purple too, I think. And it's not just the tint of the shield. People were kind of like speculating, and then there's all this fan art. There's amazing fucking fan art and other depictions. But what they did was they took a fucking stock photo from I forgot where. And then they just kind of just altered it a little bit to where, okay, she has these 3 lights on her face, and then they just made her have 3 fingers, because when you're romancing her and Mass Effect 3, she gives you a picture of her, and then you can set it on your desk by your bed, and I was like, well, that's what she looks like. She looks like fucking. She basically almost looks like Miranda,
Oh, that's
like
kind of
a
lame.
fucking some basic white broad, and then they just put some shit on her to make her look like a fucking what a Korean would look like under the mask. And
Do you consider like when you see that, do you just kind of erase that from the canon in your head just to
a little bit, yeah,
yeah.
because I was just like that. Someone could have. And the problem is one of the guys the guy that created Tally like campaigned, and this is where there's some of the people that were working on number 3 were a little bit out of touch because they had a campaign to get Tally into 3. Like the dude that made her was like, "What the fuck? Like she's one of the best characters." People agree because the people that were kind of working on the game were like, "Oh, we got to just really prop up Liara Tassoni, which she's fine, but she's definitely not the favorite. But it's their favorite, so that's one of the reasons why you can't. She's always safe in number 2. I'm just gonna say that, and so she's no matter what, she's carrying over to 3, and there were some other people that were kind of brushed aside, like Rex obviously is one of the most favorited characters, and you barely get to see him. Like you have a nice moment with him in DLC.
Yeah.
And so there was a little bit of like misfire in that. And then so the thing with Tally as well. Oh, just grab that thing, whip it up real quick. This is her. And it's like someone couldn't have just fucking drawn her, or even have a competition of something of like, hey guys, draw a Tally, and then we'll all agree this is the best one. This is her under the fucking mask. Something.
Yeah, to me, it's like
So
that's one of those things that like you never really want to see. I don't know if I would have ever wanted to see Tally's real face. I wouldn't want to see Master Chief's face either. Really, like I never want to see him frown or smile or anything. Like I don't want to.
I would like to, but also like I don't need to. That's the thing. Like I don't need to see Chief's face. Like not seeing his face is perfectly fine. I'll be able to live without seeing his face. I've seen Arbiter's face, and Arbiter's perfect.
Yeah,
I don't need Chief.
Yeah,
that's too much of a gamble. It's
That's
like you see nothing
He's gonna
and
be
then
let down.
seeing something. It's like it's not a good idea.
it's just gonna be a guy. Like it's just a guy. Just imagine a guy, and you've got it, and it's fine, and it's not that big of a deal, and it's.
I wanted to be like fucking what was the stingray, that manta ray guy in SpongeBob. I can't remember his name.
Oh my God, Man Ray, right?
Man Ray.
Ray, that's right. It was like Man Ray when he finally was like giving up evil. And he's like, I don't need this anymore, and like he took off his fucking mask, but he took off his head. So he just started walking around he walks away with no head. I don't know if you remember that.
I do remember.
Of course, it's a classic episode.
And I thought that was so great because like I would have preferred that for Tally. Like if she just fucking just did that and then you didn't see anything, because it definitely ruined it, especially since they did such a bad job. I'm like, oh, you fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Try to fuck with my favorite character.
Imagine Chief takes his helmet off and he looks like
Casey Neistat.
Oh no.
So imagine he takes his helmet off and that's how he looks.
Oh my God.
Takes his mask off.
That's the thing too. It's like I don't want Chief to be like some fucking ugly guy, you know? Like I don't really care, I guess, but like also like I would prefer not to know that. Like it would recontextualize every scene that I like. If you had Master Chief looking like the fucking collector from Toy Story 2, like under that fucking helmet, like my life would be over. Like every
Lord.
like suddenly I need a weapon. Like suddenly that's not nearly as cool because it's just some fucking fat dude who's bald. Like I don't want to see that. I almost felt the same way about like because you see the Doomslayer's face actually in Doom Eternal, and one of the first things I thought was
you see it, right? You do see it, right?
Well, I mean, you kind of see it. You see glimpses of it, but like even then, I was like, oh man, I don't know if I like that really. Like it was kind of cool not knowing what he looked like, and then I also kind of remembered that like in Doom
they showed
1,
it before, right?
Well, like in the original Dooms, like you see his face like 100% of the time because it's like at the bottom.
It's at the bottom.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that's fine. I think for the most part, when you have a character like that, that's so that a lot of what works about him is the fact that you don't know much about what he looks like, and like there's like an air of mystery about that kind of character design that's like really cool, and I think carries a lot of I don't know, it just carries a lot for any given character. And you don't really want to, because you're just going to not live up to expectations. You're never going to have a character that everybody's going to be happy with, but everybody is happy with this as it is. So why would you unmask him?
Yeah, I feel you.
Let me see if we got any other questiones, preguntas over here. I'm not reading this one.
What is it bad?
I don't know. Dodger and Ice wrote in, and he says, "What's the first character from a cartoon / movie / game, etc., that you wanted to slam fuck?"
So I've always kind of understood that video game characters are like not real, and like, I shouldn't really be attracted to them. So I'm pretty late on this, but the girl from Borderlands 2, the one that sells you shit.
The one that sells
I
you
was
shit?
like,
In Borderlands
yeah,
2?
with the top hat, Roxy's
Moxie.
name.
Oh, Moxie.
Moxie. I was like, yeah, I'd fuck her.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
Her and Petrovenge, bro.
Oh, from Destiny.
I'd love a piece of Petrovenge.
I don't know.
That's very late to the game, man.
That is very late. Yeah, I can't. I'm sure that's a pretty normal thing to have. Like, if you're just watching cartoons a lot, like I would imagine that, like as a kid.
Oh no, Sailor Moon. What am I talking about? I was like, I'm attracted to this.
Oh, it's like a kid.
I was like, I'm attracted to this. I don't know why, but I'm very attracted to this person.
Oh, if we're going like by like.
It says what was the first one?
Yeah, Sailor Moon.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know what the first one would be. I feel like it was
probably Sailor Moon too.
No, I don't know if it was Sailor Moon. It might have been one of the whatever. I don't know the names of these characters, but like the characters in Totally Spies might have been.
Really? You watched that before? You watched Sailor Moon? Really?
It's not that I watched that before Sailor Moon. It's that I didn't think that way about Sailor Moon.
Gotcha.
Like, because I was just like, she's annoying.
Yeah,
and I was a kid, so I just wasn't really looking at girls in any way other than like, you're fucking annoying. Get the fuck, get out of my fucking clubhouse, bitch.
I hate you.
Yo, I pretty much know for sure. Like there was so 97 and 98 were good years for fighting games, and there was two that I just even to this day. So. Yeah, Morgan from Darkstalkers and Darkstalkers 3 specifically.
Oh, she's thick.
Morgan was fucking just damn, like that awoken something up in me for sure. But then you also had this girl Felicia, this cat lady. She was like not fucking, she was not like, because furries are just like I don't know, like weird. But she was designed to where she had a couple like some cat features. But like her body she had the thickest fucking booty, and like the way they designed her was so perverse. And I'm just like, dude, she's basically naked. Dude, and that was like
another crazy one, dude.
You just reminded me. Actually, I'm such an idiot. I can't believe I didn't think of this because this was definitely it. The fucking Felicia Hardy, fucking Black Cat from Spider-Man.
Oh damn!
Yeah,
woo! That was 100% because she had that like delivery, like that old school like sultry kind of like tone. And like I remember like watching those episodes with her in, I was like, "What is this?
Why she talk like that?
What is this that's happening?"
Oh yeah, so I can agree with that.
She was a good one, Felicia Hardy.
But I gotta say my favorite though was in Street Fighter Alpha 3. There's Rainbow Mika. She's a wrestler. She is the thickest. I fell in love with her. I was like, because I loved wrestling. Big. I loved Zangief. Huh?
Mika's she's a lot of woman.
Well, yeah, she's thick. She's thick in all the right places. It's ridiculous. Whoever designed her needs a gold medal because
God bless.
that was my favorite. I was like, dude, this chick's so bad. And then when she showed up in Street Fighter 5, I was like, yes.
Rogue and Storm from freaking from the X-Men animated series.
Whew.
And we're like,
dude, Rogue, dude. There was have you seen that picture, that screenshot of
her in Apocalypse?
Rogue? Yes.
Yeah,
like the deliberate like of her ass just so pop.
Wait, what is
it? So deliberate.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I know. That's ridiculous.
Okay. Like whoever drew that, I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, Rogue.
They knew exactly what they're doing.
I like that she had I like that she had a skin tight outfit, but she still had like a fucking jacket.
Oh yeah, she had that little brown jacket.
It was green, wasn't it?
Made no sense. No, she had a brown jacket on.
All right.
Really?
I could have sworn it was green.
In the animated series? I thought it was green and yellow, or like whole thing.
No, she had a green and yellow spandex suit, but then she put on a brown jacket.
You're right.
No, man. Yeah, there's probably a lot. Like, I wonder what the most shared. Like, there's got to be something from like TV, right? At any given point in time, like cartoon or otherwise, or like games or movies that like has the most amount of people that they've given a sexual awakening to, and I wonder what that would be for like the 90s. or like even the early 2000s. Because I'd imagine for some reason I feel like goth girls were like a big thing, but I can't think of like anything in like a movie or a TV show or anything.
The Hex Girls.
No, that wasn't that popular. I don't know, because I remember I remember I had crushes on goth girls in high school and like junior high, but like I can't think of anything that would have made I can't think of anything that would have sparked that for me at all.
Same. Well, everybody likes goth girls. It's kind of like a phase that everyone goes through. It's a given.
Yeah.
It's a given. So. Everyone goes through the
I
phase.
still kind of like them a little bit.
I don't know. I'm over that vastly now.
Like
that shit scares me.
Alternative, like that alternative kind of feel.
Yeah.
Like this girl, she slid in my DMs recently. She's all tatted up. Used to be a model. I thought she was a catfish immediately because I was like, "What the fuck is this? Get the fuck out of here."
That's always that's how it always starts. You're like, "What? You can't be talking to me. You have the wrong fucking number, idiot. Dumb bitch.
Get out of here, dumb, you stupid.
Get the fuck out of here."
Yeah.
Oh.
Exactly like that.
Just a mean-spirited little kid put in an adult's body. Get out of here, loser, bitch.
A fucking model hits you up. It says, "I think you're cute." You respond, "Get the fuck out of here, you stupid bitch."
Stupid hoe. The fuck?
That is some shit. That is
so cruel and stupid.
Oh, yeah, she for sure. She's very like alternative, and I was like, I still like that. I'm still a fan.
I wouldn't say no.
I respect your hustle.
It's not a preference or anything necessarily, but you know, definitely when you see it, you're kind of like, my ears perk up a little bit. I'm like, hey, that's cool.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. I think that's basically all of the questions that we have today. So what are we at right now? How long have we been recording? An hour and 48. All right. I didn't actually set up a timer this time, so that's actually pretty appropriate. I think. Let's see. Where's my little Google Doc? I lost it, I think. Yeah. So if you liked what you heard today, God willing, that you liked what you heard today. Please consider supporting us on patreon.com/thesnarktank. $1 a month gets you early access, $5 gets you a question right on the show, and $10 gets you a producer credit and your name dyslexically read at the end of the show, which I will do in a little bit. But first, I want to say just thanks to everybody who's still supporting us. We know this is pretty weird. It's a pretty weird scenario that we're all in. I know that the audio this episode is probably not good. We are aware of this. We'll be working to fix it. Please also remember to leave us reviews on iTunes and stuff. That helps.
Before everybody goes, shameless plug again. Follow me on YouTube at Sweeny the Peen Machine. That is my new current channel. I'm gonna try not to abandon it. I have some ideas.
I promise he will.
I'm gonna try not to. Don't listen to Chris. Don't listen to Chris Ray Gun, right? Listen to me, Sweeny. I'm just the Savior, Jesus Christ himself.
Are you calling yourself Jesus Christ?
I'm calling myself pretty damn close.
We've got because we went over this last time, but there's a lot of people at the $10 tier right now. Even still, which is awesome. So what we're going to do is if it's a name that we've read already, I'm going to not say it this time. Because we'll be here forever. And I just want to make sure everybody's
fucking rude.
All right, you know what? Fuck it. Fine. Double O Dolphin, a deplorable, a level 1 cleric, Aaron Alvarez, absolutely not, Acid Bat, Adrian Royal.
It's ridiculous.
Aereo, Ethereum, Afterlife, Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, no, he's back.
He's back. He's returned. Alex Jones, All Hands on Dick, Aloof, AK Ransom, Artie the One Man Party, Aurora Unit 117, Aughts King, Badly Brave, Baron Von Thundercock, Negromancer of Hammerfell.
What the fuck?
Holy shit. God damn.
Thundercock.
Bazcar.
Hammerfell.
Beelzebub the Gimp, BK Dino, BLT, inflicted with Frenzy Virus 19. Brendan PV, Cakes and Foxy PH, Caliber 64. You got a Sonic profile picture. God help you. Carl Weezer's Juicy Cum Dumpster Ass. Carson Jones, Catnips, Chad, Chef Bang Bang.
That has changed the whole tone of everything.
Chef Bang Bang. I like that. Chief Crewin. Chris's Creamy Carnivorous Cum Dumpster. I hate that. I don't like that. Cavernous.
Oh, yummy.
I don't like any of that. Christian Rodrigo. Christopher Midling, Colonel Colin, the colon collapsing kingpin, Cooper Lorraine, Cyborg, Damian Watson, Daniel Ortiz, Dank House, David Delaney, oh my God, Del Khan, Decado, Dodidad, Donald Trump, Drew Hogg, Dylan Broadbent, Edward Thibodeau, Elazar Nunez, Eric Pfeiffer. Oh, it's so many. It's so many. It's so fucking many. Fake Flynn, Fat Houdini, Fat McLarge, Huge.
Wait, Fat McLarge Huge?
Yeah, Fat McLarge Huge. That's such a funny. That's the fakest name I think I've ever fucking seen.
It's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life, actually.
That's like McLovin.
Fat McLarge Huge.
FDR's wheelchair, Felix Anderson, female Sonic admirer, Fjajar, oh my God, Fjalar Tandri Guttormson, I always fuck that up, Fjord Noir, Fuhey, fuck you Stevie Nicks, we all know your eyes work, Garrett Jones, Gassy Ghastly, Heartless Wretch, Harvey Lee Boswald, Hugger Derek, Ian, if Smaug was black, he'd be Tom Sweeny, Intoxicated, Jabob, Jacob Armston, Jake Parsons, Jefferson Steelflex, Jeremiah McRoberts, what the fuck? Jeremiah McRoberts again? Oh. That's either a fucking stunning coincidence or you're very dedicated.
Nice. Thank you.
Jose Horach, Josh Kirby, Joshua Millard, Juan Guevara, Julius Jeffries, Justin Hunter, Karsten Roth, Kevin Andrew Ennis, King of Haphazard, Nika. You're not going to get me with that one, fool. Might as well try. Leon and Susan Five Ever, Levante Puzdai, Liam Birch, Luca Bella, Luke Jerkovic, Matt Fitzsimmons. I've never seen that name in real life. Melphis one.
Simmons?
Yeah, Fitzsimmons. I've always seen it in shows and stuff. Melphis one, Merrick. Oh my God, so fucking many. Frischot, Mike Gates, Mike Petit, Mitchell Blackwood, Moto Zealot, Mr. H.R. Habrowski, Nicola Tempa. Okay, final run, final stretch.
You got there. You're almost there, Chris. You almost did it.
Here we go.
Oliver Troxel, Papa John, Polio Pussy Got Me Disabled, PP Extendus, Progerian Rectal Homicide, Quinn Designer, Richter86, Rod Holder, Rohan Foster, Rushanish, Rusticity, Rusty Cunts, Samuel Lathrop, Sentient Condom, Shih Tzu Posting, Sideshow Bob's Body Double, Sijalix, Soggy Aardvark, Stephen Hawking's Unrestrained Libido.
Oh my God.
Oh my
That's why he was alive so long.
Can you imagine how devastating that would be if he just woke up one day and could move? He'd be fucking instantaneously. He'd have so much built up.
He'd blow up. He'd die.
Steve Lucas, Sonny Chance, Sweeney Tom, the Ethnic Barber of Yeet Street, Sweeney's Magic Weenie, Stitz, Rijemka, Rijkema, I think, Taeon, Taylor O'Connor, Telos 2121, Tharja IBW, That Nick Walker, the Cosmic Hippie, the Dreamer into Shadow, the Progerian Hunter, the Quivering Membrane, the Invisible Skeptic, the Job is Dick, Toby Shootman, Tom, Troy, Umberman, Very Good, White Tom Sweeney, Winnie, Yasleen Clemens, Zach, Seaworth, Zachary Daniel, Zachary Ward, and that's fucking it.
Hey, good shit.
Proud of you for doing it, man.
You did it.
It's hell. I think we're probably, man, I don't know. This is a weird thing because like we were talking last time about maybe raising the cap of like the price to do it, to get the names read, but like with everything that's happening, that feels kind of wrong. So like I'm kind of my hands are kind of tied here. I don't really know what to do.
We're in the in between space right now.
What we could do is what we might have in place is we might have a Discord for the $10 tier and have the names read at the end, maybe like $20 or like or 15 or 20. So that way the list at the end is a lot more manageable and $10 patrons are still getting something. That seems like it might be a good idea. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Like that. Actually, that sounds really good idea.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah, so we'll get to work on that. I think someone messaged me on either the Patreon about having a Discord kind of set up already for the Snark Tank. So I'll figure that out today, and then by next time, just so everybody is understanding of like what's happening, that's probably going to be what the updated tier list is, just for the sake of keeping everything, tight and not overbearing at the end. But thanks again for watching. Thanks again for listening. We'll get these audio issues resolved by next time. Hopefully, we'll be able to see each other again because, you know, probably not by next time, but like hopefully before the fucking year is over. Like it's getting ridiculous.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm getting fucking. I'm already going insane just cooped up here. Have you been like quarantining? Like what have you been like? Have you been going out and stuff?
Yeah. So I mean, the thing that the only reason I went out in the first place was
the fuck was that?
Whoa!
Somebody just like knocked on our door. 1 sec.
Let's
listen in on
this. See if it's something. Sorry. Okay, yeah, that's right. I only left the house to go to the gym and to get food. That was pretty much the only thing. So now there's no gym, and I've been eating a lot of food at home, or rarely I would go out or something and just drive through and come back or some shit. But typically, I'm just home, and it's weird. Not going to the gym is actually frustrating. My body's twitching a lot because I'm not exerting the amount of energy that you would, exert at the gym. Like doing home stuff is good, but it's not good enough. I don't have the tools to really burn the energy that I need to. And then it's not a good idea to try to invite like people over, obviously, so that's kind of annoying too, where it's like, hey lady, would you like to come over and get fucking throated? And it's not a good idea.
All right.
That is definitely probably the worst part of this.
Yo, it sucks, man. It sucks so much, man. I hate it.
Oh man. We're all incels now. All of us, we're all incels.
Literally are incels. That's a good. You should tweet that out, dude. That's a good one.
I think I did.
Did you?
I think so. I don't know. I said something like that. They got the last laugh.
They did.
God damn it,
They
Elliot
totally
Rodger,
did.
you fucking asshole.
He's fucking laughing in heaven right now.
That's so fucked up. That's so fucked
And that's it.
up.
Goodbye.
Have a good one. Have a good one, guys. Stay safe.